A voluminous reversible rib with raised herringbone stitches using just one row and 2 types of stitches. I'm casting on an odd number of stitches. The pattern repeat consists of 2 stitches, plus we add 1 balancing stitch for symmetry, so it turns out you need to cast on an odd number of stitches.
I've cast on 41 stitches.
And then I move on to knitting the first row. The first row is a setup row. It is not part of the pattern repeat itself. I slip the first edge stitch and then knit 1, purl 1,
knit 1, purl 1.
Here I am knitting a regular 1x1 rib. I knit in Continental style for both knit and purl stitches. If you knit an Eastern or combined style, for example, the purl stitches, then you will have to figure out for yourself how to work the stitches. From here on, I always explain the knitting using Continental style. So I knit the 1x1 rib to the end of the row. At the end of the row, I always knit the last edge stitch. I'm reaching the end of the row.
Here, the second to last stitch is the balancing stitch. I knit it as a knit stitch according to the pattern, and the next stitch is the edge stitch. I also knit it. So the first setup row is ready. Next row. The next row will be the second setup row. It also is not part of the pattern repeat, so I slip the edge stitch unworked. And then I knit as follows. According to the pattern, I have a purl stitch. I purl the stitch. Next in the pattern is a knit stitch, and look what I do with it. I insert the needle like this into the row below. I pick up the loop from the row below, and I place it on the left needle. And then I knit this loop from the row below as a regular knit stitch. And now the key moment. I slip the current knit stitch. How do I slip it? That is, you see, I insert the right needle from left to right into the stitch and slip it knitwise. There, and these 2 stitches, the knitted one and the slipped one, end up facing each other. And I continue this until the end of the row. Purl the purl stitch. For the knit stitch, pick up from the row below, place it on the left needle, and knit it. And slip the current knit stitch knitwise. Purl. The loop from the row below, I place it on the left needle. Knit it. And slip the current knit stitch knitwise. Purl. Again. It's a bit awkward here, but it will get easier later. These are just the starting rows. It's not as convenient to grab here. There, the loop from the row below, I place it on the left needle, knit it, and slip the current stitch knitwise. Purl. Work like this until the end of the row. At the end of the row, I purl the second to last stitch normally and knit the edge stitch. So I have knitted 2 setup rows, and next comes that very row, the pattern row. There is only one, and we repeat it in both the right side and wrong side rows. Look at how it's knitted. So the repeat row. Again, I slip the edge stitch unworked. And next, here is my knit stitch. I again insert the needle into the loop 1 row below, pick it up, and place it on the left needle. And I knit this loop as a regular knit stitch. I slip the next stitch knitwise. And next comes a paired stitch. This was that same loop picked up from the row below, knitted in the previous row, and the slipped current stitch. And I purl these two stitches together. Continental purl, right? Like this. Again, a knit stitch. That is, I pick up the loop from the row below, place it on the left needle, knit it, and slip the current knit stitch knitwise. Purl two together. Again, the loop from the row below, knit it, slip the current stitch knitwise. Purl two together. Loop from the row below, knit it, slip the current knit stitch knitwise. Purl two together. Loop from the row below, knit it, slip the current knit stitch knitwise. Purl two together, and work like this until the end of the row. At the end of the row, a knit stitch remains. This is the balancing stitch. I knit it into the row below. I slip the current knit stitch knitwise and knit the edge stitch. So this repeat row is ready. And the next row will be exactly the same, only here it will start with a column of purl stitches. So the second row. I slip the edge stitch unworked, and then here is the paired stitch. That is, we purl it. Purl two stitches together. And now again, the loop from the row below. Look, this is how it looks now. See, it is crossed. It crosses over. And this is the correct, the desired effect. This is what we were aiming for. I insert the right needle under this crossed loop, place it on the left needle, and knit it. And I slip the current knit stitch knitwise. This is a fundamental point. It is this way of slipping that creates the crossed stitch. Purl two stitches together. Again, the current stitch. Again, I pick up the loop from the row below, place it on the left needle, knit it, and slip the current knit stitch unworked knitwise. Purl two together. Again, the loop from the row below, I place it on the left needle, knit it, and slip the current knit stitch unworked knitwise. Purl two together. Again, the loop from the row below, knit it, and slip the current knit stitch knitwise. Purl two together. Loop from the row below, knit it, slip the current knit stitch knitwise. Purl two together, and work like this until the end of the row. And the last stitches of this row, here is a paired stitch and the edge stitch. I purl these two together and knit the edge stitch. Well, and then I repeat these two rows. The only difference in these rows is that one starts with a knit column, the other starts with a purl column, and this is done intentionally so that the pattern is symmetrical. So let's repeat once more. I slip the stitch unworked, and look, there it is, the crossed loop. It goes like a cross from the row below. I place it on the left needle, knit it. I slip the current knit stitch unworked knitwise, purl two together. And again, there it is, the loop from the row below. I place it on the left needle, knit it. I slip the current knit stitch unworked knitwise, purl two together. That is, picking up this loop now when you already have several knitted rows beneath you is quite simple. It is larger than the previous stitches, and here it is easily picked up, placed on the left needle, and knitted. I slip the current knit stitch unworked knitwise, purl two together. Again, the loop from the row below, knit it. I slip the current knit stitch unworked knitwise, purl two together, and work like this until the end of the row. At the end of the row, again, the balancing stitches. I purl the two together. and I knit the edge stitch. This pattern is quite a yarn eater, and it doesn't knit up quickly because the stitches here overlap one another, and such a pattern does not grow fast. And of course, you need quite a lot of yarn for it. I am knitting this sample from fairly thin yarn, but at the same time, I get a rather dense fabric. This will make an excellent scarf. I already have a scarf like this. To knit a dense, voluminous, multi-layered fabric from thin yarn, this pattern is perfect. Also, so that the fabric doesn't turn out stiff or heavy, so that it's easy for you to knit, you take thin yarn and fairly thick needles. I have a 4.5mm needle. This is a fairly thick needle for this yarn, but it is exactly what suits this pattern. If you take a thin needle here based on the manufacturer's recommendation for your yarn, you will likely end up with a stiff, heavy fabric, which will be very difficult to knit and which won't have this drape and elasticity. Therefore, remember my tips for this pattern. Always take needles a bit larger than you think you need, so that the pattern is light, so it's easy to knit, and so it's sufficiently elastic.
And now about finished items using this pattern. Look, I have a scarf like this. I'll just show it to you up close. This is upside down. And here they are, these raised herringbone stitches. The pattern looks gorgeous on this variegated yarn. Look how stretchy it is and how it pulls back. One side, and the second side is exactly the same, yes. No differences at all. That is, it's an ideal pattern for reversible items. If you need a scarf, then please, take this idea. All the details on how to knit this scarf are on my other channel. I'll leave a link for you down below the video, or I'll attach it here in the info card. If the link to the other channel works, there will be info about the yarn, the usage, the amount of yarn, the tools, and how to choose the edge stitches for such a pattern, how to start it beautifully, because here it's also done with a beautiful edge.
In that video, I used a tubular cast-on instead of a long-tail cast-on. I have a tubular cast-on here, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, and a tubular bind-off as well. In today's video, I showed a long-tail cast-on, but I feel like a tubular cast-on suits this pattern much better. All the details on how to knit this scarf are on my other channel. I'll leave a link for you. You will also probably ask how to knit this pattern in the round, and I have a video for that too. It's been out for ages. It's been on my channel for ages, on my second channel. And again, the link will be down below the video. The link will be here in the info card. And again, the link will be down below the video. The link will be here in the info card. But if something was unclear to any of you, ask your questions in the comments. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.